Hi guys, welcome back to my channel for another video. If you are returning today, we're going to be talking about how to not be lazy because we have approximately like 6 months left in the year and I just don't want any time to be wasted. We got to be making money, we got to be making progress, we got to be improving ourselves. If you're with me and you want to see me at the top, keep watching. I'm sorry I'm so blabby today, but let's get into the video, okay? How to not be lazy. Okay, let me explain. People have become so lazy and like so unproductive that like self-development or productivity has become almost like phony in a way, or just like very frowned upon. And I hear a lot of people say things like, oh, it's a sin to change myself and I love myself the way I am and I would never want to change myself, and that's fine. You don't have to change yourself. If you love the way you are, you don't have to change yourself, but you should never like shame anybody else for wanting to actually improve their life. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be better. There's nothing wrong with taking a look at your flaws and saying, hey, because bitch, I know where I lack. I know where I fall short. Every single one of my friends know where I fall short. Like, it's very obvious. I don't lie about it. I'm very transparent with my flaws. You're constantly working on everything that's a part of you. Like, you're working on yourself in general 24/7. And if you're somebody that actually puts in that effort, you'll realize it's never gonna be perfect. It's never going to be perfection. You have to honestly learn a way to beat perfectionism. There is so much opportunity for me to learn something, to grow in some new way, or like gain new insights or new perspectives, and I would just never want to miss out on that personally. So essentially what I'm trying to say is, if you have no discipline, you are a slave to your moods. I go according to my emotions too. Like, if I feel like shit, I'm not doing anything. If I really feel truly like I'm incapable of doing something, I will not push myself past my own limit. And this is one of the things that I think differentiates a lot of people, is that I acknowledge when something needs to be done, I need to push myself, or if I need to relax and not push myself past my limits and just like get out of the city, relax, whatever it is that I need to do, right? But the thing is, I know that I have earned it. People don't want to earn anything anymore. Because I know and I trust that, you know, once my emotions or whatever it is, the situation that's presented to me has been dealt with, that I will go right back into being disciplined. For a lot of people, they can't say the same thing about themselves. Take care of your body, okay? Listen to me when I say this, and it's that your body is the vessel that God lives in. It doesn't matter if you don't believe in God, okay? But your body is being occupied by a higher consciousness too. If you didn't have your body tomorrow, only then would you really begin to appreciate and realize how much it actually does for you. So you have to learn to appreciate and nurture it. Go to the gym, work out, just do some movement. Stop like sitting in one place and making that a regular thing. I would be damned if my kids ever saw me make that a normal thing for myself, to be like in this sedentary lifestyle where I never move or I'm never walking around. I don't want that to be their interpretation of healthy. On a side note, this is something that I hear so many times, and I'm just gonna address it because it happens. Like, I've seen it under so many of my videos that I just need to say it. And I hear a lot of people say, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this enough, you look like this, and whatever. All I hear is excuses, and I know that somebody's gonna get triggered and angry, and I'm sorry for that, my love, but this is the reality. This is the truth. I really do feel like people make excuses, and why do I know that so well is because I was one of them. You have to work for things that you want in your life, and I don't care who it is. Everybody is born with a disadvantage. If you were born with good looks, you might not have the intellect that you want. If you were not born into wealth, you have to go through the struggle of making that wealth yourself, and everybody who's tried to do it before knows how hard it is. You have to look at your weaknesses and say like, okay, this is what I'm working with. What can I do about it? And that is 100% on you. But always finding ways to improve yourself, because you 1000% do not have it all. There is always something to work on. There is always something to improve. The people who you think got it like that in life don't actually got it like that. Stop comparing yourself to other people. I feel like this is a really big cause of laziness, and I know this for myself. I'll give you guys an example. I don't have social media, okay? Like, as in, I do have an account and whatever. Sometimes I download the app, but for the most part, throughout the week, the app is not on my phone. I don't care what other people are doing with their lives. Like, how do you expect somebody to execute these huge visions for themselves when you're constantly like looking at other people? I just don't get it. It's not something that I want for myself, and on top of that, I genuinely have no interest. I don't care what other people are doing with their lives, and I think you should adopt the same mentality. If you have to remove social media or like get it off your phone in some way in order to be motivated or disciplined to actually do something with your life, do it. It's the greatest peace of mind I've ever been able to attain. Just taking Instagram off of my iPhone and only downloading it for like business reasons, or like some friends on there don't have my number, so I'll just go and like text them there or whatever it is, right? Apart from that, I'm not spending time like looking at other people, and especially looking at other people and comparing yourself to their lives and whatever. Like, people don't actually have it like that. This is another thing I will say, another triggering thing I will say. This video is probably gonna trigger a lot of people, but whatever, it's my channel. Okay, down to a person's core, which means like the realest parts of somebody, most people are boring. And that's the reason I feel like I vibe with so few people nowadays, is because I genuinely think there's no like purity at the core anymore. People don't want to like live by real values, and it's not like I'm pointing fingers saying this and that. I see why they don't want to live that way. I have been there myself. The motivation to live that way is not there anymore. When you're looking at somebody, whether it's online or in person, you're not seeing somebody for their depths. You're just seeing an idea of somebody, which is an idea that they're making you see. You are only going to see what other people are willing to show you. That is the reality of most people's lives. They're okay with looking a certain way to other people without actually having it like that. I have been fooled so many times before, and I've tried to fool people myself. Like, to sit here and say that I haven't tried to do that is so stupid. Your aim in life, honestly, when it pertains to that, should always be to be somebody who's wealthy and not necessarily rich. Because rich, I feel like it's a look, whereas wealth is more of a mentality. It's an ambiance, it's a mindset. That's where I'm looking to get to, at least, and I think it's where other people should aspire to get to, because it's like wealthy people you usually can't tell are very wealthy, but in some way you kind of can because of the way that they maneuver. So it's hard to explain, but anyways, back to my point. Don't believe in, like, don't give into that bullshit. Don't give in to people selling you all this stuff, that this idea of themselves that isn't actually real. When you find someone with depth, you're gonna understand what depth truly means, and then you're not gonna want to look anywhere else for it. Like, you're not gonna want to be around people who don't have that beautiful and very rare quality, which is depth, my love. That is something that does not come from money, and those kind of people understand that you can't just take $100 bill and rub it on your chest and feel like your pain is going to go away, because money does not buy happiness. It doesn't buy the ability to patch you up and heal you. That's what it doesn't do. It might help and assist, and of course it does. It's beautiful. It does wonders. You should never view money as evil. I've said this before, but at the end of the day, you have to realize it is very helpful. It isn't number one. It isn't going to heal you. It's not going to take you back to your past and heal your traumas for you. It's not going to make you a better person or improve the internal. It will do a lot externally, but it will not necessarily do very much internally. It might fix a lot of your problems, because I've seen money change people's lives. It changed my life too. I'd be lying if I said it didn't. But at the end of the day, it's like those scars, those wounds, and everything within you are still there. And they're going to be there until you face them, until you sit with them, until you look at them, right? If you have actually been there in a time where you had to be completely in your solitude because you had no other choice, and on top of that you probably hit rock bottom, nobody wants to sit with themselves anymore. It's too uncomfortable of a process because there's too much that obscures our clarity. Like, in other words, very few people are on the search for clarity. In those moments, you really have to let yourself sink to the bottom. But the biggest blessing about rock bottom is the fact that there's nowhere to go but up. Like, you have no choice at that point, and it's only the people that have been there that know exactly what I'm talking about. So when it comes down to wanting to be, or like seeking out to be somebody who's productive, you have to put in the work for that too. That is not an easy task, to like wake up every day, decide to make your bed, decide to go to the gym, decide to do A, B, and C, and then on top of that, make your money and like do whatever it is. If you're not somebody who's obviously already born into those things, like there's things that you have to work for. You have to figure out, okay, what is it that I want? What do I want to work for? Who do I want to become? And like, how can I do that? How exactly can I do that and plan it that way? My willingness to be so much more motivated and disciplined, I feel like, is at its peak right now, because I feel like the person that was truly holding me back was myself. And I feel like once you start to realize that, everything becomes so much easier for you. Sometimes you really are your worst enemy when it comes to this, you know, process of transformation and just like wanting and seeking out to be a different person. You really have to sit with yourself and figure out who it is that you want to be, and like not allow other people to tell you who that is. And when you're lazy, you're doing yourself a huge disservice, because like you have so much potential and you already know that. I'm sure you already know that, or otherwise you wouldn't be here watching this video today. You just have to learn how to tap into it, and that is honestly entirely up to you, and that's a responsibility that you really have to take upon yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know what you guys think and let me know what you guys want to see more of. But thank you so much for the love. Best of luck on this journey and I will see you guys in the next one.